the Celtics now come out of this game 7-7. They've played 14 games, and it's basically 17% of their season. They have been disappointing. They have been infuriating. There's been a lot of confusion from them, from us, from what the hell is going on here. Not sure what Ime Udoka is doing sometimes. How much of this is experimentation? How much of this is just part of his coaching philosophy? Still not 100% sure because it's only been 14 games. He's a rookie coach. This is a new team. We don't know what the hell is going on, right? Amazingly, the Celtics are in a position to finish this month out and be kind of where we thought they would be. The Celtics, with their early struggles, we still thought like, hey, this is a team that on the low end could be like 5, 6, 7. On the high end could be 3, 4, somewhere around that range. At 7-7, they are in the 10th spot right now. And it's too early for like actual standings, but they are in that mix right now. But when you look at everything and zoom out, they're 3.5 games out of first. Like when we talk about it's early, like it's so early that even the worst swings, maybe not the Pelicans, but the worst swings that teams can have can easily be fixed if a few things come together, right? The Celtics have not been whole. They have played a bunch of games here without Jaylen Brown. There's still obviously different combinations in there. Dennis Schroeder's been a starter for a while. Then he's going to go back to the bench, which when Jaylen comes back, Schroeder is going back to the bench. Udoka confirmed that. But the Celtics sit here 3.5 games out of first. So that's how close they still are. They have the New York Knicks at 8-6. The Celtics are at 7-7. So one win by the Celtics, one loss by the Knicks. Boom. That's it. The Charlotte Hornets only have one more win than the Celtics. They have 7 losses, and they're in the 8th seed right now. The Celtics are actually in a position. Here's their schedule moving forward. They have Atlanta on Wednesday. Friday, Saturday, home back-to-back. Lakers, who just got blown out by Memphis. OKC, who's winning some games, but they're built to lose. Then on Monday, this is a 4-game homestand. Lakers, OKC back-to-back. On Monday, Houston, bad team. Celtics have already beaten them. Brooklyn on that Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving. That's obviously going to be a tough game no matter what. Then that Friday, they go to San Antonio. And then the 28th, they go to Toronto. That's the end of the November schedule. That's not bad. 3 more road games, 4 games at home. Atlanta, struggling. They've won a couple of games in a row right now, but they've been struggling early. That's a winnable game. Lakers, like I said, just got blown out. They don't know what the hell they're doing sometimes. That's a winnable game. OKC's winnable. Houston's winnable. Let's forget about Brooklyn. Let's just say that that's not. San Antonio, struggling 4-9 or something like that right now. Toronto, we've seen Toronto twice already. The Celtics have beaten them. Look at this realistically. The games that they should win. OKC, San Antonio, and Houston. That's 3 out of those games. Then you've got the formula for beating Toronto. So you beat Toronto again, that's 4. All you need to do is win one of those games, Atlanta, LA, and Brooklyn after that. And you're 5-2 over that stretch. And now suddenly you're 12-9, and that's probably good enough for like 5th in the East going into December. If the Celtics outperform that, then great. But that's a realistic possibility. And I'm not going to even sit here and argue that, oh, they can do that stuff, because it's not even the point. It's not even the point that whether I think they will or they won't, or we can argue and you can be in the comments of the YouTube page and be like, you're an idiot for even thinking that they can. It's not even the point. Whether you think they can or they can't, it's not the point. The fact is that they are in a position to even do that, because it's so early that even after the disappointing start, that they can still look at this schedule and be like, yeah, we got 4 games at home. You could even say, win our home games, win one of those road games, and it's still 5-2. However you want to split it up. Now, they haven't been great at home so far. That, I think, is just kind of a function of what they were going through. But it's still theoretically possible here. Why can't you beat OKC and Houston and San Antonio? Why can't you beat Toronto again? Why can't you beat one of Atlanta, LA, and Brooklyn? Especially because Atlanta and LA are disappointing right now as well. So there's an opportunity to take one of those games. Jaylen Brown is hopefully coming back somewhere here, maybe even as soon as Wednesday. Tatum has been shown the path to how to be effective, and it's attacking, and they can still he can still turn it around a little bit here. If Robert Williams is okay and he can play in these games, then it's not out of the question. Here's the one stat that's really going to hammer this point home to me. The Celtics in their first 7 games, that takes you up until the Chicago collapse. They come out of that game, 2-5? They have the 25th ranked defense after that Chicago collapse. Marcus Smart says what he says. Everybody's losing their minds. Then they go on the road. Orlando, Miami, Dallas. They lose that Dallas game, disappointing. But they go on a stretch there where they go 5-2. And they have the league's best defense in that 7-game stretch. First 7 games, 25th ranked defense. 5th from the bottom is horrible. Second 7 games, best. Like absolute, 97, 97 defensive rating. 97 points per 100 possessions. That's like, if they could do that for an entire season, it'd be a historically good defense. That's obviously not sustainable either. But point is, the swings at this point of the season are so wild that even through all of our yelling and screaming and consternation and all of that stuff, the Celtics are still in a position to come together, put together that little 5-2 stretch where things are starting to be a little bit more positive. And all of a sudden, if you go into December and you say, oh, well, the Celtics have climbed into the 5th seed. Well, all right. If I told you before the season started, the Celtics will go into December about the 5th seed, you'd be like, okay, yeah, that's about right. That's about right. Nobody cares how you got there, just the fact that you're there. And if the Celtics can work through some of the things and still get there, then great. So, whole point of that segment is it's still possible. It's for everything that people have been losing their minds over, just a little decent stretch. And you're like, oh, okay. Oh, we're good. And then what's going to end up happening? If things go well the rest of the way, it's entirely possible that I can write a story in March that will gloss over this entire thing that we're losing our minds over. And I'll say, after a slow start in October and the middle of November, the Celtics picked it up and blah, 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 blah. That's when you zoom out, that's all this is going to end up being if the Celtics can pick it up and put it together and play some really good defense and figure out their offense and get a passable offense together. That's when we look down the road, that's going to be the line that just encompasses all of this craziness of the past few weeks. It's wild. Please share the podcast and tell your friends, tell everybody that they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network.